Okay, so we're going to cover Absolute Flash. And here's the thing, guys. I really do love this book a lot. Matter of fact, I love the idea of the Absolute Universe, the whole idea of exploring a brand new world that give writers the chance to do different things with the characters we all know and love. And honestly, when it came to the Absolute Universe at first, when it gave us Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, I was kind of wondering like, hey, could they use other characters as well to explore this reality? And so when I heard, hey, we're getting Flash and also Martian Manhunter, it really shows me that DC is not going to abandon this project in the early days. So we might see the Absolute Universe for a good while in DC Comics. And honestly, I hope it stays around for a good while in DC Comics. But getting into Absolute Flash issue number 1, now, the opening pages of this book, we get told automatically that this is going to be a Wally West storyline. And honestly, I kind of like that because Wally West was the Flash I grew up with. For a lot of DC fans out there, Wally West was our Flash. And it's not me hating on Barry Allen or anything. It's just that for a good while, we had Wally West when I was growing up. But don't worry, Barry Allen still plays a very important role in this storyline. But we pick up Wally West just running across this desert area, and he's freaking out about something apparently. And it's also him kind of stating that he had truly messed up. So we're kind of wondering like, okay, one, how in the world did you get your powers? And two, what did you do that made you think that you truly had messed up? And so you then had a story kind of jump back 2 days ago. Now, with the story going back 2 days ago, we get a better idea of Wally West in this reality. Like, for example, this man is a loner. Like, he has no friends, and it does seem like there's some bad blood going on between him and possibly other members of his family. Really, there is, you're going to see here in a moment. But we do learn that he does refer to somebody in his life that's no longer around. And the thing is, when she was around, she was there to help him to keep control, but she's now gone. And so it's technically up to him to kind of handle what's going on inside his body. And right off the bat, you can tell that he has to be talking about his mother. Now, when it comes to Wally West, we do learn that him and his father, they live out of a military base, Fort Fox. And matter of fact, when he does arrive back to Fort Fox, you have some of the soldiers express that your father is going to be very upset with you because the whole idea that you're coming back late to the base. But then we have somebody walking him back. That would be Barry Allen. Now, right off the bat, we can tell that the relationship between Barry Allen and Wally West is going to be completely different. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense because this is a brand new universe, a brand new reality. You got to do things differently here in this new reality, but it's also Barry kind of expressing that he wants to watch over Wally, give Wally somebody to talk to, somebody to have in his corner. So you have Barry walk Wally all the way home, but realize, you know what? Wally needs to get out of the house. Wally needs somebody to be in his corner to talk to. So let me go ahead and take him over to my lab. Now, this is where you kind of have the book begin to give us different ideas of possible storylines to come down the road. Like, for example, you have Barry show Wally the project he's currently working on, better known as Project Olympus. Now, we're not really told what this project is all about just yet. Most likely we will know in issue 2, 3, or 4. But for right now, we're kind of getting the idea that this project is very important. The way you have Barry explain how, yes, it is a military project, but sooner or later, this project could be used as a way to help the entire world out. Now, it's also Barry kind of showing us that he knows that Wally is very smart. And matter of fact, Wally should be most likely not going to school they have here on the military base, but work part-time in his lab as a way to kind of help Wally open up more, but also give Wally a chance to challenge his mind. Except you have Wally express that there's no way his father's going to approve this. And we do learn very quickly here that yes, his father is not going to approve that at all because his father is the colonel of the military base, the man in charge of the entire base. But also we learn here that when it comes to Colonel West and also Wally West, their entire relationship right now is on the very edge of breaking apart. Like, there's some bad blood between them. And matter of fact, you have the Colonel say, Wally, go home right now, like leave. And Barry, you are lucky I don't report this at all, because what you're doing right now is breaking so many rules involving my son into your future project. But as we transition back over to the present day, we see Wally just in the middle of the desert trying to clear his mind. But out of nowhere, he begins to get chased down by some kind of vehicle, or some kind of, I say a tank basically, but it does shoot out this boomerang aircraft to allow somebody else to hopefully chase down Wally. Now, you do have Wally being able to get away, but we're now getting our first look of the rogues in this reality, trying to figure out what is their role in this reality. So we have Captain Cold, Boomerang, Golden Glider, and also Trickster. And so you have these 4 characters right now wanting to hunt down Wally, but we don't know the real reason why they're trying to hunt down Wally for just yet. Now, you do have the story switch over to Wally in the past 1 day ago, and with this flashback, we're getting the chance to see Wally having that conversation with his father. Now, we see here that, yes, there is bad blood between these 2 characters, but apparently before you had Barry be that person in Wally's corner, it was his mother. But we learn here that mom is no longer around. She died. Now, we're not technically told how she died, but she's no longer around. Without her being around, it's kind of hard for Wally and his father to have a connection with one another. It really shows here that the mom was kind of keeping the peace between the 2 parties. Without her being there, you now have 2 characters being forced to kind of live together and hoping everything works out. But also for Wally, he hates the idea of being a military child, being forced to move across the country over and over again. And you do have Wally's father express like, dude, listen, it's my job. I have no choice. But for Wally, it's not fair. And so you also have Wally express that if mom was still alive, then most likely by now, him and her would have left his father a long time ago, kind of hinting at the idea that maybe, just maybe, mom was kind of getting tired of Wally's father and plotting to leave. Maybe, who knows? And so you then had a story show us Wally walking outside. The problem is when Wally walks outside, he sees these red squares or possible doors that kind of hold different images behind each one of them. They all lead back over to Barry's lab. And so you have Wally walk all the way over there. As he walks, since all these different creatures begin to freak out, but you have Wally continue to walk deeper and deeper to the lab, where we see Barry Allen kind of going through some kind of experiment. But you have Barry say, Wally, get away, son, go, run. Out of nowhere, it seems like Wally has been hit with something. Now, I kind of like the ending of this storyline because even though the story does jump back to the present day once again, it's really more of Wally kind of showing us him trying to get away from the rogues. And the rogues say like, hey, we're getting closer and closer. Sooner or later, we should be able to corner the child. But you have Wally going deeper and deeper into the cave. But when he does that, we get small glimpses of a flashback of where you had Wally walk into that lab, seeing Barry go through that experiment, but you have Wally not running away. Instead, you had Wally move closer and closer to where Barry was at inside that machine. But then by the end of this section, we see that it's Wally blaming himself for the death of Barry. And we see the body of Barry, the corpse of Barry, wearing a Flash suit. So we're kind of left to wonder what exactly happened in that moment when it came to Barry and also Wally. But the last 2 pages jump forward 1 year into the future, where we pick up with what seems to be Mirror Master. And you have Mirror Master accessing the files for Project Olympus, where we do see all these different images of Wally West. Now, here's the thing, because it's also him saying that it's now time for him to make this world fall, the entire world. And the issue ends on that note right there. So I kind of love the idea of us exploring this reality to kind of get a better idea of what could be a great comic for the absolute universe. But with that being said, guys, please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.